So we're in a different setting. We do a lot of our videos on exercise, so we're usually out in the gym or the active area, but rather than just preventing injuries, sometimes people get hurt. It happens to me, it happens to everybody. So when we're in pain, or specifically when we've injured our low back and we're having muscle spasms in the back, what can we do to help minimize that painful experience? So if we think of what happens with our spine, in almost every case where we're injuring our back, we're creating excessive movement from the spine. Rather than it being stable, it's being overworked, and that's why it's getting hurt. So when we move around with a back spasm or an injury to our back, our goal is going to be to try to be able to move with a braced spine. We're going to try to minimize the amount of movement that happens with the spine. So one of the biggest issues we see is when first thing in the morning when people have to get out of bed. So if I've found myself into a comfortable position in bed, whether I've got my knees up, whether I'm on my side with a pillow between my legs, whatever, at some point in time we'll usually come onto our back just to gather our thoughts. Now as I go to get up, the one thing I do not want to do is I do not want to try to curl my spine up, because this is going to be very stressful on our back and is going to cause problems right away. In fact, we've had some patients admit that when they wake up in the morning, if they feel not too bad, they try to sit up this way almost to test their back. Hey, let's see if this hurts. That's a horrible idea. What we're going to do is we're going to bring one leg up, we're going to brace our abdominals and use our hips, and we're going to try to feel that our hips and our shoulders move at the same rate. I want my spine to turn as a unit. From there, I'm going to use the weight of my legs and the power of my arms to bring my body up as a unit. I want my spine to move as one unit. So if I were to strip away all the muscles, what I don't want to happen is I don't want to dish rag my spine. I don't want my hips to move without my back and without my shoulders and basically create this dish rag effect, which is absolutely going to cause pain to my spine. So if when we're laying down we can stabilize, use our hips and shoulders together to rotate the body, and then use the weight of the legs and the arms to elevate the body up, I can then move my spine in a non-painful way. And if we come around to the side, now that I'm seated, we see that a lot of people have a faulty movement pattern to get up from a seated position. They will create extension of their low back and use their extensor low back muscles to lift themselves up, which if you're in spasm is absolutely going to cause pain. So I want to try to brace my abdominal muscles. I want to feel my feet actually grip the floor, and I want to transfer weight into my hamstrings and my hips and squeeze my glutes as hard as I can to lift myself from the table, or from the bed, or from the chair, or from wherever we're moving. Same thing coming down. My feet are going to be planted, my core is going to be braced, and I'm going to bend from my hips, keeping my spine as one stable segment to lower myself down and raise myself up. If you're able to do that, then you're going to minimize the discomfort from that time where you may have a muscle spasm.